Kyle reviewed. Like and subscribe.
Hey guys, just finished watching Krypton, Season 2, Episode 9, Blood Moon. Whoa, what an episode. So this is the before last episode. We have one more episode left for the season. And oh my god, so much things happen here. It's so cool. We start off, we see that they have... they had to get to Ragthor type thing to warn everyone about Doomsday coming type thing, and that there's an attack coming, or at least they didn't know it was Doomsday. We knew, as the audience knew, it was going to be Doomsday, just sent to Ragthor to destroy everyone and kill everyone on the moon. And we see that Seg, we find out that there's a lot of moments here between Seg, Nyssa, and between Seg and Lyta, and Nyssa's always there to kind of there to witness a lot of their kind of them being back together type thing. She straight up tells him that Seg is Nyssa's love of her life type thing. And I think that's quite interesting. They're playing with that kind of love triangle there, especially with the way they're doing it. It's a little bit more different than the more predictable or cliched version where one person is dating two people and they're hiding it from both of them type thing. That would have been kind of silly, kind of stupid to have that in this type of show, and I think that would just been boring and cliched. Whereas this thing, it's a love triangle type thing, but at the same time, it's love triangle, but at the same time, it's pretty much just, yeah, I was in love with you, but I'm way more in love with her, so she's back, I'm going to just put you to the side, and I think that's kind of it. Everyone knows all about the whole situation like that, and I think that's going to be quite interesting to kind of play with, and it kind of changes it up and spins it on its head by everyone being involved, being out on the open, and there's nothing kind of being hidden from anyone in this kind of love triangle. So I think it's kind of interesting playing with that, and it was going to be quite cool to see as to how things go. I hope that they don't kill off Nyssa Vex by the end of the season, because I think that would just be kind of cheap, and it would be kind of what would be the whole point of this, of killing off General Zod, or Lyta Zod type thing, only for her to, only to have this thing, to not have this love triangle going into next season. I think we need to have at least another full season of this love triangle. Maybe having her, maybe have her have Nyssa Vex, maybe have her die at the beginning of next season, or have her die at the end of season 4 type thing. So I think they need to really play with this a little bit longer and just kind of have this kind of relationship, kind of this kind of, especially with Jor-El out there. Technically, I think at this point with Jor-El alive, we can have, Seg could die, and so could Lyta die, and so could Nyssa Vex die. The three of them could die in a crash or something, and then we still have the whole General Zod still alive, and he could be raised to be to eventually create Superman and give and have Kal-El, right? So I think that's really going to be quite interesting to playing with that, and I like to play with this kind of this love triangle a little bit more. And I like how that's not kind of in your face. It's just kind of a very small backstory that kind of gets picked up here and there every time, Seg and Lyta kind of get intimate. So I think that's really kind of cool playing with that. We see that General Zod has Doomsday under his control, so that's kind of interesting there. We get an idea that he's under control, but they also mention that he's might not be under control, but yet in this episode, we never see him not in control, and it's unclear as to how much control he really has over him, because he has Doomsday kind of kneel before him, but we don't really see him I thought we'd see him pretty much like Avatar style, controlling him, or maybe some sort of virtual reality helmet type thing, and he's able to kind of control the person. I thought he'd be able to do that for Doomsday, but it's unclear as if he's able to do that, or if he's more like when Bruce Banner, in the Avengers movies, when he says, "I am angry," I'm always angry. It's just because he's able to control his anger, and he's able to kind of point Hulk in the right direction. He's not able to control him in the first Avengers movie. He's able to point him in the right direction. So I think that'd be something cool to kind of play with and give us a bit more detail as to how much control they have over Doomsday, and how much free will does Doomsday have of his own type thing, and how much is it just kind of straight up rage machine versus the original person that was inside that got turned into Doomsday type thing. So that'd be cool to play with that. We see that Lyta, Dev, and Jaina are found by Sagittari. That's when Lyta kind of reveals herself and has them turn against her. So that'll be quite interesting to see as to where things kind of go with that, to see how things kind of turn. And I imagine it's going to be kind of foreshadowed. This is going to foreshadow the ending of next episode, where maybe she gets everyone to turn against Zod. So that'll be quite cool to see as to where things go, to see as to how many kind of if everyone just kind of drops everything just because they see that Lyta's away, I think it's a bit predictable at this point. So we'll have to wait and see as to kind of where things kind of go and how things going to change. So it's not so predictable that they're kind of they really show their hand that, oh, this is what's going to happen at the end. This is how everyone's going to turn against Zod type thing. I think it would be a bit predictable to do that, to show this at so early on. That's what they're planning on doing. So we have a great. We have a fight scene of Vanessa. She's they're running after, trying to take the ship there that dropped off Doomsday and trying to take that out, trying to take everyone off there and kind of take over the ship to get off of the moon before it blows up. And she has this slow-mo fight, which is kind of silly. They're running in front and they're running into battle. She's at the beginning, the front of the battle, and she just has this tiny little blaster, and other guys have look like automatic weapons, just bigger weapons type thing, and it's just kind of silly. Why would she not grab a big weapon for herself type thing? She's leading this group, right, type thing. That was kind of silly, but she does end up taking some of the bad guys' weapons and stuff, and they have this slow-mo fight scene. I get the idea what they're trying to do, but oh my god, did it ever look stilted and bad. It just kind of looked very stiff and obviously choreographed, and because it was slow-mo, it seems like they kind of recorded it, and it's not like what they should have done is build a fast fight scene, you choreograph it super fast, and then you take a high-speed camera to slow it down to whatever frame rate you want so you can play it at whatever speed you want. This looks like they took a regular camera, had her act it out in slow motion, and then slowed it a little bit more down with that camera in editing, and not just use a regular camera instead of a specific slow-mo camera, If you look at some of the scenes, there's a classic blooper from Avengers where Captain America and Thor are both getting their weapons back, and then the blooper you see that Chris Hemsworth, fumbles with his hammer, and it's hilarious. They're using a high-speed camera specifically for slow-mo shots. And here, because it was like they were acting slow-mo, it was so bad, and it's so kind of stilted and cheesy, and just kind of, it looked obviously choreographed and fake and didn't flow whatsoever. And it would have been better to just have a regular fight scene and not have it be slow-mo, or you have a regular fight scene and you have one or two moves be slow-mo, and then you speed up to another move slow-mo. You have one or two of the cooler moves be slow-mo, type thing, instead of the whole fight being slow-mo, because it just it ruined the immersion of this, and it made the fight look kind of terrible and cheesy, and it didn't look like the actors had enough time to actually kind of properly learn and study and memorize and make it muscle memory that fight scene. And this is what it should be, because the character, she was the daughter of the head leader, so it would make sense that she would have a lot of fighting skills. He'd have her train all the time, because everyone would have been trying to kill her, trying to threaten her all the time. So he would have wanted her to be able to fight and defend herself. So that would have made sense. So it just didn't really work out in that fight scene whatsoever. We see Adam Strange is crushed under some rocks and he loses his legs and stuff. So I quickly Googled that to see if that ever happens in the comic books, and I can't really see anything about that. But it'd be quite interesting to see as to where things kind of go with him. We see Kem sacrifices himself, and he has a great death scene with Doomsday. That was really cool dealing with that. It was kind of all quite interesting. So definitely can't wait. It was really cool the way he did that. Give the middle finger, got his head ripped off. We saw Doomsday stepping on heads. It was just a great scene. Definitely can't wait to see as to where things go with Doomsday. And hopefully they don't kill him off by the end of this show. Maybe they can just get rid of him by maybe Brainiac picks him up, puts him in one of his bottles, so that Doomsday is still kind of out there, but he's away from now, and we get to play with him later on, because Doomsday was very well done. His CGI was a little bit kind of, it was obviously CGI, but it's still better than the best Doomsday we've ever had, including the Batman v Superman. Obviously, Batman v Superman kind of looked a little bit better, like the CGI looked real, like it really was there. It's just the design of him was kind of terrible. They just looked like they ripped the design from Lord of the Rings, those trolls. But here, he had a better design. It's just obvious that the CGI budget for him was not as much as the Batman v Superman movie. And we end the episode with the moon exploding, and everyone thinks, or at least Val and Vex think that that Seg is dead, so they'll probably go tell everyone else that Seg is dead. But we saw him get onto the skimmer that he arrived there with, so that was quite interesting. With that, we'll wait and see as to where things go. Looks like the trailers for the next episode involve Lobo and stuff, so that'd be cool, setting his thing up. Maybe Lobo will be used as a hitman to hunt down General Zod. Definitely can't wait to see as to where things kind of go with all this. So definitely can't wait to set up Lobo's spin-off show and potentially setting up a season 3 for Krypton. So let me know what you think, guys, about this in the episode below. What do you want to see in the next episode, and what would you like to see be in the next season? Let me know what you think, guys, in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Okay, Kyle has a YouTube channel called Kyle Reviewed. It's about Marvel and DC. I happen to know a little bit about DC since my initials are DC. All right, so if you like Kyle's interviews and videos and reviews and everything like that, then like and subscribe. If you don't like them, well, maybe you're just not a comic book fan.